My name is Mae Salas, and I am a Filipino American, and I am married and have 3 children, and I'm proud to share that I'm a 4.5-year breast cancer survivor. My story began when I was 36, and at the time I was always taught to do self-breast exams, and I found a pea-sized lump, actually smaller than that, and they've always told me to get it checked right away. So I made an appointment, went to visit the doctor, and at this visit, this doctor wasn't my regular doctor, but she recommended that I get a mammogram once I'm 40, because she asked if I had any family history or any risks of breast cancer. And when I told her no, she just informed me that once I turned 40, I'd be getting mammograms. So I trusted the doctor, and I went my way, but all this time I knew that I had the lump in my breast, and I remember that my life was going so well at the time, and I started feeling different sensations, and right away I made an appointment to see another doctor, and this time the doctor explained to me that it's possible that I just might have a fibrous breast, but to rule things out, he recommended that I get a mammogram. And so within a few days, I was in to get my mammogram, my very first one, and I remember it vividly. They took tests, they squished and had me twist and asked me to hold my breath, so they squished it one more, and I remember it being uncomfortable, but I knew it was necessary. And this happened on a Friday, and so over the weekend, I just remember having thoughts in my head thinking, could it be? But I tried to stay positive, and I just noticed that everything that was pink or related to breast cancer became so prominent, and it was hard to get off my mind. And then the following week, I got a call from the doctor, a breast cancer nurse, and a surgeon, because they wanted to do a biopsy right away. And shortly after that, after the biopsy, I had some time to wait, and I remember the waiting was very difficult. And it turned out that I did have breast cancer, both DCIS, which is ductal carcinoma in situ, as well as invasive papillary carcinoma. And I was very devastated. I thought to myself that this couldn't be happening to me. And I fought in my head knowing that I couldn't have the C word. And from that point forward, I just did what the doctors told me what I needed to do. I had 3 children at the time who were 15, 13, and 11, and all I could do was think of them. And I knew that I didn't want to leave them without a mom, and I had to fight. So I did what they told me to do. I had surgery scheduled in August. I decided to have a mastectomy of the right breast, and on August 11th, that's when I started a new life. I had the mastectomy. They gave me time to heal. Shortly after that, I started my chemotherapy, and I had very extensive chemo drugs, and I had 6 rounds of the treatment. And I remember going into the very first treatment, and I knew that they were putting needles in every vein you can think of. And I figured if that's all I have to deal with, I can handle it. After that, each subsequent treatment became harder and harder, and I learned that the accumulation of the chemo drugs in my system would weaken me because it was killing good cells as well as the bad cells. But one distinctive thought was the very first time when she was disconnecting me, she told me quietly that I would soon lose my hair. And I had always been proud of having long, thick, and dark hair. And surely enough, within a week, I remember being in the shower, not being able to capture the hair that was just rolling down because of the water. And I was extremely devastated. But that was nothing to worry about. Right now I'm even proud of the short and curly hair that I now have. But The challenges that I found was having to cope with every step. But I was very fortunate to have my husband and my family and a network of friends. I even had people calling me. I'm sure they were from the American Cancer Society, but I still to this day don't know. But people called me to check up on me, connect me with other cancer survivors to help me get through each step of the way. And through my times researching while I was going through treatment, I found cancer.org, the website from the American Cancer Society, to be very helpful. I recommend anyone to also look at the APIAHF Forum website for any information. That's how I kept myself informed. Other people who found out about my situation gave me books, and that's how I tried to educate myself. One thing that I really, really wish, and one thing that I've been very, very headstrong about, is making sure that I even target the younger girls. That I wish I knew that this is a possibility once we got older. Just the way that they teach children about sex ed in high school, I think even mentioning breast cancer awareness is necessary for young girls, knowing how early young girls can even get breast cancer. But I've been very involved after all my treatment, all the chemo, all the radiation. I was asked by the American Cancer Society to see if I would lead one team in their making strides against breast cancer, and I have done it every year ever since. And I've also volunteered my time to speak to other groups, other communities, especially anybody in the Asian Pacific Islander community, because I want them to be aware and not to be hesitant about asking for assistance or asking questions or being advocates for themselves, and not just settle for what a doctor says. And I just want everyone to know that going through breast cancer, getting through the breast cancer treatments was rough. And I'm not going to lie, it was very difficult. But with strong faith and a good network of family and friends, and especially a positive attitude, you can get through breast cancer just as I did. Thank you.